All right, we are live. How we doing? Happy Monday, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So Friday session, pretty muted, right? Range bound day. We've got contract rollover on Friday. And so what we want to be looking at for today, my focus is actually going to be on NQ. And what I want to see here is how price trades versus the 20075 level of interest. That level kept a lid on price for the duration of Friday's session, including the overnight action. So you could see that resistance through there from early Friday morning into the open on Friday, right through there, and then retesting at the close on Friday yet again. And now price is poised to open right there as we get into regular trading hours session here in about 3 minutes. So that 20075 prior day high area is going to be the focus here this morning early in the sesh. We'll see if buyers are able to break up and through that level. The other thing to keep in mind right now is the fact that kind of in an interesting spot because price is bumping into this key area of resistance. This is our weekly level of interest up through here, 250, right through here. That was the high from August 22nd. So price is just shy of that key higher time frame lower high, right? So 2 weeks ago, you trigger the change in character for buyers. We see mostly range bound action last week, and then Wednesday into Thursday, you get the big breakout move. Friday morning, you have a retest of that kind of near-term range breakout point. Now we're back into what could be a new range here. So let's take a look at the economic calendar. We do have a data print at 9:45 to keep an eye on, and then some Fed speak today as well. I am expecting a bit of a slower session here. It tends to be the norm on a Monday. So let's kind of see how structure opens up, what we're looking at off of the open, and take it from there. Now ES, pretty similar type of setup here. We want to see how price responds to that 5770 area, which is loosely aligned with that prior day high, 5775. That prior day high right there. So you could see the same type of structural development from Friday's session there. That 5770 into 5775, treating that just like a little zone here. Now price is back into that area. So that's the watch for this morning. I'll be focused on NQ per usual. And we've got the open here in about a minute. So let's see how we open up. Where's our pre-market high? Pre-market high is way up into 150 or so. 164, the true pre-market high that aligns with that 150 upside level of interest. So if buyers can sustain this push up through the prior day high, that's going to be your main target on those higher time frame charts. Here's your prior day structure here on NQ, just a range bound day. So see what we're working with here. There's the open. So you have the session volume point of control as well as VWAP right here at our level of interest. We do technically have a small gap higher, gapping into that prior day high area. There's price testing the prior day high. So let's see if they could break above and hold that prior day high. So a little rejection there at the prior day high. Still have about 2.5 minutes before that opening 5-minute bar closes up. So that next downside reference point is down into 20K. It's that big level of interest as well as the prior day volume point of control. The overnight gap also fills right into that area as well. How's ES doing? Let's take a look. So ES testing that prior day high now. Looks like it held that VWAP area. Potentially a little bit of relative strength there in ES. You want to keep an eye on that prior day high there. On the S&P, ES rejecting to the tick currently. And NQ, I'm most interested in either the prior day high, like I said, or the 20K area. Current location is, for me, it's just no man's land. NQ back into the lows there. ES as well. So another failure for ES at the prior day high. First 5-minute bars closed up. ES, the gap does not fill until 57.55 area. So NQ, let's look at that reaction into 20K. Staying patient, staying patient. You know the drill. Monday morning. Then don't forget the data print at 9:45. Flash manufacturing PMI. Rare Monday morning print. That's in about 7 minutes, that data print. So far we have prior day high being rejected early in the sesh. ES kind of churning here near VWAP and the 5770 level of interest. And you do have some buyers stepping in on NQ versus that session value area low there. Here's that next 5-minute bar. So far, still in that prior day's range. S&P just sitting on the lows here. So at this point, let's see what that data looks like. As far as price's reaction to the data, don't actually care about the data print itself. Only care about how price responds. Session volume point of control shifted a bit lower there. And NQ down into session low. Overall volume is pretty light. So we're just letting that intraday structure develop here. And we've got data in 3 minutes. ES still here, VWAP 5770 area. Struggling to reclaim that 5770 so far. Data in about a minute. About 1 minute till data. NQ kind of just in a holding pattern here. A little tight 30-point range. Yes, sir. Patience is key. Patience, patience. We're only here to look for our edge and execute accordingly. Not here to press buttons. So if the edge isn't there, we just enjoy our espresso and chill. Must be data coming up. You can see that tape start to dance a bit. You can see that spread really open up. Yeah, let's see the data right now. Trading view just freezes. So there's data, price still here. Did not break the 30-point range just yet. There we go, there's 75. Let's see prior day high. So price bumped into 75 there, the level of interest. And we're back into this kind of intraday structure. So we're still looking at the response to same zone. No real update to the game plan here. There's NQ back into the low of that structure, that intraday structure. Sellers so far doing a good job of defending that key zone we talked about from Friday, right through here, carrying over into this area. So if we continue to see that weakness here, we're looking at potentially 20K. So either like action versus 20K or up and through this area. Personally, anyway, personal preference. There's your retest of the level of interest. Here's that prior day high, retesting session high. So some buying activity coming in. Need a swift break through this zone that then holds. Don't get caught in an upthrust or anything like that. NQ, new high of day being made here. So if buyers can sustain this zone, keyword being if, you can watch for a retest of that overnight high, that pre-market high area. Right around 2100. Check out that 5 minute. It's looking pretty good for buyers. There's your 20K 100 right there. Overnight high into 164. And about 10 minutes till 10 a.m. No data at 10 a.m. or anything. We do have some Fed speak at 10:15 it looks like, and then again at 1 p.m. So never know with those Fed speakers, but just keep an eye on that. And we're back into 75. Back into that zone. See if there's any bid through here whatsoever. Should give us a good clue on that buying appetite. Nope, no bid. No bid. So prior day high stays on watch. Prior day high. There's the retest. See if buyers can now hold. And back into prior day high. First decent little setup there. I tried my hand at the higher low in the key zone, got trailed out. That's not the wait and see type of setup. So take some profit, drag that trail directly into break even. Typically you want that area to hold immediately and buyers to really step in. So not the play like I said, not the play I want to wait and see. Can always get back in. Can always get back in. So continue to watch the reaction here near the prior day high. And what we're assessing is whether or not buyers can defend this zone. Near-term structure shows that this is a key area, right? And we have about 5 minutes till 10 a.m. Let's get a look at that 5-minute chart. So a little bit of accumulation down there in the 050 area, right? Into data. That was that consolidation we saw, that holding pattern, price resolves higher. Can it hold now is the question. And if you like, what you can do is start to take that intraday fib. If you like the fib, so buyers are looking for a push up through that 100 area. A little bit of a psychological level, but more so than that, you have that overnight resistance through here. A little bit of supply sitting there. And we got about 3 minutes till 10 a.m. No data at 10. No data to worry about. How's ES doing? Let's take a look at the S&P. Pretty tight. What are we talking about as far as intraday range? 12-point range. Very, very tight. Still struggling with the prior day high. And volume. I mean, look how low volume is. Boy. Tough. Tough to trade that. Don't get caught in the chop there if you're looking at ES. NQ volume is not much better. I mean, look at that. So far conditions not super favorable. Again, let's see 10 a.m. (15-minute) is just showing us pure barcode. Barcode, or barbed wire, as we like to say now. Anyone trading yet this morning? Are we still mostly cash? Letting that setup develop. Cash, still waiting. Nice. Small green. Nice, nice. (10 a.m. in about 1 minute). Let's see if we get more clarity post 10 a.m. There's no data at 10, right? Tape is kind of dancing like there is. I guess we'll find out shortly here. Same zone stays on watch. It's prior day high area. Good. More sellers stepping in there. There's 10 a.m. Resolving lower. Now near session low. And we're still here. Still near that prior day high. Nice little spring, that kind of intraday structure. little undercut. Let's see how this continues to shake out. So far, action is not very compelling, personally. ES, you want to keep an eye on that prior day high. Holding that 5770 area and VWAP area here, but finding a lid at that prior day high. Pretty similar to what we are seeing in NQ. Just shy of that 100 area now on NQ. Got the session value area high here at 0.95. Yeah, there's that typical Monday action. Keep monitoring for a bit. Day is young. We're only 35 minutes in. But 15-minute definitely says patience, right? Get that action through here. ES actually made a session high there. Briefly, no acceptance just yet. Check the volume. There's just no participation here. So don't overdo it. This is the market telling me to do less. So far, anyway. Can definitely change, but as of right now. Remember, cash is a position. And a cash day, flat day, is infinitely better than a red day. Always. So I wanted to see, essentially, as of right now, game plan is pretty much the same as far as the levels I'm looking at. Prior day high and this level of interest through here, just treating this like a zone. But I want to see how this kind of structure resolves, and then when it does resolve, how it trades versus the edge points of today's session. Range day or normal day? What is a normal day? What is a normal day? Mondays are typically slow. And so far, price is struggling to leave that prior day's range. So but the main thing about expectations is you want to be flexible. If you're expecting a trend day today, right, and price shows you this, you need to be flexible with those expectations. All right, so we're back into session high here. See if we get a break with some acceptance. What's ES doing? ES is pressing the highs. Okay. That's definitely encouraging. Oh, you're probably thinking neutral day, neutral. Christopher. Yeah, I use the terms like range day and neutral day is the same thing, interchangeable. So you have like balance and imbalance, right? Or trend and range, one or the other. Or you could have like a bullish neutral day, which is like price is making highs, but it's still pretty range bound, depending on how detailed you want to be with it. But to keep it super simple, I mean, it's either a range or it's a trend. And that's pretty much our job every day. It's just determining, what is the current day? Is it range or is it more of a trend day? And typically you can get more clues based on the higher time frame setup. As of right now, price did not make a fresh session high, and some sellers are stepping in here. Yeah, Dom, that's true. That's accurate. That's factual. So keep an eye on that 15 minute. What is that 15 minute saying? Right through here. No real direction, right? So you could still trade a session like this, but you want to look at the edge points. If you're so inclined. Or if you want to drop to like a 15-second chart and scalp this tiny this tiny range here, right? Right through there. If you're feeling wild, might be better to just stay cash though. $15 doesn't even look good. I know Misha's for sure scalping that 15 right now. I know he's in there. $5. Oh my goodness. Dang. You're wild for that, man. That's different. That is definitely different. Yeah, I can't hang. Nope. Oh, man. Goobers. So right now I'll probably give it another maximum 45 minutes before I have like a hard morning cutoff. Very limited edge in this type of action for me personally. I mean, I'm sure some traders are happy with this, but yeah, 20K would be nice. 20K would definitely be nice. Oh, 20K loan? No, sir. Can't help you with that. Sorry. Check out the 5 minute. There's overlapping here, right? A lot of barcode. So NQ coming back into session lows here. Let's see the reaction near the lows. Should give us some more clues for this kind of mid-morning sesh. ES back into 57.70. Yeah, 15 minutes just indecision. Sideways. 30-minute too. At least that most recent 30-minute bar. Looks like we got some Fed speak right now. So the Fed speak is always kind of a wild card. Typically, it's nothing, right? Not really moving the market, but occasionally you get them saying something that is off script and You get some nice movement with that. That 10 a.m. low. Back into 075 and that prior day high zone. Session volume point of control is there as well. A sweep of the session low. I prefer it with a reference point down there. But yeah, traders trade, man. Mish would buy it. 5-second spring setup. Traders trade. I'll make a career out of those B trades. Yeah, you probably could. The hit rate will be lower, but B trade is still decent. There's your push back into that structure high. So more proof that we're in that kind of range bound day, right? Neutral. Low volume. Looks like ES made a new high on the sesh. That was actually pretty nice. Coming from the session high, level of interest there with VWAP. Pretty nice signal bar. I wonder if Dave was in there. He likes those trades. See a write-up on that one later in the trade review tab. NQ coming into the high, so let's see if NQ can actually break the high here. And rolling right over. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. This type of action is not super confidence inspiring. That's for sure. That is for sure. I mean, look at the NQ 5-minute. ES into that upside level of interest there, as well as the pre-market high. So if buyers can actually break that spot, you could have a decent run at 5,800. NQ stays on watch here. I want to see if this consolidation resolves. There we go. NQ, new high of day finally. Does it hold, or is this an up thrust? If 2100 can hold, if this area can hold, again, price can push for that overnight high. Almost 1 hour into the sesh here. NQ retesting the upper portion of that intraday structure there. Almost back into that prior day high. Yeah, it's looking more and more like that sideways range type of session. No follow through on the new high. Yeah, it's still a spot to watch. Prior day high. For action outside of that intraday structure, personally. Prior intraday structure. You want to see like a break, hold. So far, there's just like that up thrust, right? Basically, your spring setup. Not much of a bid there at the prior day high either. So this zone obviously key. VWAP, level of interest, session volume, point of control, and prior day high. If it fails, you could look at the lows again. Up thrusty. Yeah, it could be. We'll see. Buyers need to hold right here. And that next 15-minute bar closes here in about a minute. Which means we're about 30 minutes until 11. Till 11. That'll be the hard cutoff time. If we continue to see this range bound choppiness. Oh, my camera went a little blurry, it looks like. Damn. So prior day high defended there. It's a decent sign. 15-minute bar close, pretty bullish. But each push is just met with some selling. Chop, chop, chop. ES coming back for that prior day high area. All right, see you, Dom. Yeah, break even's all good right now in this action. Yeah, it'll be time to call it a day shortly. Look at this volume. Terrible. Back into that 0.75 level of interest there. And ES into the prior day high. Keep an eye on that prior day high for ES. Range day things. Range day things. Let's check out the 2-minute. Not very compelling. Not very compelling at all. It's like the 5-minute. What are you going to do here? Buyer's still doing a decent job here of defending this zone. But is it something you actually want to get involved in? Is the question. That is the question. ES definitely looks a little better. Not great, but better than NQ. Yeah, middle of intraday range. Yep. Spot on. Spot on with very low volume on a Monday, no less. On a Monday. So like I said, if this area fails, be looking at down near the session low again. And then if the session low holds, pretty much confirms the range day, right? If it fails, you can look at 20K. But this is so far best thought of as a cash day. Not every trading day is going to be the same. Not every trading day is going to offer huge opportunities, right? So, yeah, and there goes that failure of that kind of reference point. Prior day high, session volume point of control, VWAP. So we got about 20 minutes till 11 a.m. That'll be 90 minutes into the sesh. Typically a good hard cutoff time. Let's see how this intraday structure continues to build out here on NQ. And if you look, 5 minute paints one of the clearest pictures here, right? Current range is 89 points on NQ. It's incredibly tight. Arguably untradeable. Depending on how you enter and where you enter. ES into VWAP, 5770 level of interest there. How's everyone's morning so far? Playing defense, I hope. Hopefully. No gunslinging. Staying out of the chop. Let me know. So NQ buyers stepping in near that intraday range low, back into the prior day high here. Just ping pong back and forth. One scratch trade, that's all good. One scratch trade on a day like today, no big deal. Becomes a problem where it's like 5 scratch trades on a day like today. That's typically a sign of just not paying attention to the conditions. ES, nice bounce versus VWAP there and that level of interest. Keeping with the theme of the higher lows for the session. That's on the S&P. Next 15-minute bar here closes in about 1 minute. NQ back into the highs. More proof of that range day, right? If there was any question before. See if NQ can resolve higher. Good response from buyers off of the lows there. ES just shy of that upside level of interest in the pre-market high, right around 57.82 area. Today's a good day to flex that patience muscle. And understand this is a typical Monday. Normal Monday things. So I want to see if we get some type of move here at 11 a.m. That's why I'm still sticking around. And if that move gives any setup to potentially trade within my framework. And then from there, we'll decide if we keep it going for a little bit or shut it down. So that's kind of the tentative game plan right now. Been burned so many times on a Monday. Yeah, that's good info. That is good. It's good info. Can use it to get better, definitely. It's only a problem if you get that info and then ignore it. But once you have that info, you can kind of improve your system. It's those performance anchors that I talked about in the weekly candle newsletter and then this morning in the think tank, that reflection question. Got to find those areas that are holding you back. Get rid of that anchor. So NQ coming back into the highs here. Session highs. Here's your current structure, right? NQ kind of ping pong here on the 5 minute. ES just shy of that level of interest there. It was a pretty nice bounce from VWAP in that 57.70 level of interest. So let's see if we get a big rejection here, or if buyers can kind of sustain this 100 level. We got about 10 minutes till 11 a.m. Nicely done. You grab that long. Nicely done. With the fib too, nice. Love those confluences. Adds big conviction. Let's see it. See that fib. Oh yeah. Level of interest, VWAP, fib, session volume, point of control. Series of higher lows intraday. It's a good entry. Good entry. Well done. All right, NQ is still kind of churning near the session high here. Churn, churn, churn. As we get into 11 a.m., volume is really tapered down. So again, like I said, we're just looking for potential setup that may align with 11 a.m. Otherwise, call it a day. Or at the very least, call it a morning. Check back for the afternoon session potentially. The afternoon sesh. NQ making another retest of the highs here. Is that a new high on NQ? Yeah, new high of day there. So again, the target here for this move is up into that 150 level of interest and that overnight high. Might just be a slow drift up there. And pretty swiftly rejected that new high. Another phenomenal example as to why you don't want to be a breakout trader in the index. Tortured existence doing that type of stuff. ES looks cleaner. Yeah, I agree. Better action in ES today. Definitely. No doubt. No doubt. All right, again, looking, like I said, looking for some setup here within my framework in the next kind of 5 to 6 minutes. Otherwise, calling it a morning. Very slow morning on my end. And NQ back near that prior day high here. Reminder on the 5-minute. Still barcode, right? 2 types of range days visible on the screen here. Yes, or Friday, right? Nice wide range. That's like that's a much better tradable range on Friday. Then you have this. This is more choppy action, much harder to trade there. Earlier you can identify a session like this, the better. So let's see how we're looking here at this next 30-minute closure. Prior day high holding so far on that retest. And we're coming into 11 a.m. here in about a minute. There's ES bumping into that pre-market high again. That's a significant level to keep on watch. That 57.82 area. Level of interest there. Last 30-minute bar is a big doji. Keeping with the range theme, that indecision theme. Prior all-time high, yeah. From way back there, yep. So there's that session volume point of control is kind of that mid-range intraday point here. Session volume point of control, prior day high, level of interest, VWAP. Does it hold or does it flush? There's your ES back into prior day high. Rolling over, coming into that most recent higher low, NQ. This could get interesting now. Let's see. I'm just looking at the intraday structure so far. You have a series of higher lows, so if this one breaks, that could shift things. Let's see. ES back into that VWAP area. Buyers are looking to reclaim that prior day high here on NQ. Same deal on ES. You have that same type of structure. Higher lows. So 57.70 remains key here for S&P. Here it comes. There it is, breaking that most recent higher low. See if sellers can show acceptance now. Gonna be a lot of orders sitting under this area if it fails. A lot of intraday support through here. Would be nice to have a stronger reference point in this area or some level of interest or something. I'd be more inclined to look for a setup down here. Need good trade location. Check out that 15-minute. NQ. Not far off the lows here. See how the lows are treated. Yeah, same page, Mish. Wish there was a level of interest right there. Stronger setup. Buyers definitely attempting to hold that area. How's S&P? S&P into 57.70. Now beneath VWAP for the first time since this morning. Earlier this morning. And back into VWAP, NQ, back into that key area we've been discussing. So buyers hold the lows initially. They need a push up and through this zone. Pretty nice hold of the lows. If you happen to get in from the lows, you want to be reducing in this area. That'd just be your intraday structure entry there. Value area low, long setup. Lower quality play in my book because there's no reference point or level of interest. All right, folks, I think that is a wrap for me this morning. Thank you for jumping into the live stream. Appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys had a good morning. Didn't get chopped up in this range-bound action. Tomorrow's stream will be private, Traders Think Tank members only. If you're joining us from YouTube, feel free to jump into the Think Tank. As of right now, focus is just on today's structure. We've been talking about that kind of more range-bound session all day, right? So you just want to keep an eye. Like if you want to continue to trade today, you want to keep an eye on the edge points of today's range. That's typically how you want to treat the range days. And then keep an eye on the afternoon for maybe a late day break. So there's always potential for that. But this is that typical Monday, right? Typical Monday. So we'll keep the analysis going in the Think Tank. Expectation is pretty low for the remainder of the sesh here, personally. Midday lull, you don't usually see those big breaks unless there's some news, right? We do have Fed speak later. We do have more Fed speak coming up. Fed's Kashkari coming up at 1 p.m. So it's a bit of a wild card there, but lower expectations for today. Typical Monday. All right, guys. Thanks for jumping in. I will